is asking, I really need your advice about a sister. She started wearing hijab, but now her parents are telling her either she removes her hijab or leave the house. What should she do, Sheikh? I really feel for her. I want an advice because it is very important. Then she has another question. Let's take one question at a time. This question is frequently asked when the parents are not practicing and they want the children to be not practicing like them for no reason. So yes, I have seen some girls call me. They're grown up, okay? And once when we performed Hajj on the night of Muzdalifah, we have many sisters from the United States wearing their photo ID. So I realized that in their regular life they are not wearing hijab. So I made my talk about the importance of obeying Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the virtues of wearing hijab, as it is as important as praying, as important as fasting. And they said they didn't know. Well, the source of the command is the same. It is the Quran. Allah the Almighty commanded prayers in the Quran. Allah the Almighty commanded women to wear hijab in the Quran in two places. Then I quoted the reference of Surah An-Nur and the other reference of Surah Al-Ahzab and multiple ahadith in this regard. So 5 of them decided to wear hijab. And when they returned home, some of these women were not young. They were grown up. They have children and they have grown up children, 45, 50 and 55, but their parents were still living. Oh, they made a big fuss out of it. Oh, if you ever wear hijab, and the hijab was a fancy hijab, like a scarf, okay? It's not like really a very strict hijab. So the parents say to one of them, if you ever wear that scarf again, you should never enter my house. And they contacted me, what shall we do? And the husband was very happy to see his wife wearing hijab, but he doesn't know how to deal with his in-laws. So in this case, we look into the practice itself. Is wearing hijab something that Allah commanded? Yes, it is commanded. So it's mandatory? It is fard? Yes. And no one should be obeyed in any command that commands disobeying the Creator, no matter who is he, even if he is a husband or one of the parents. Okay, they're showing here on the screen ayah number 31 of Surah An-Nur, and you can also refer to ayah number 59 of Surah Al-Ahzab for the sake of time. So, and also obeying parents is a must. It's a fard. But we have a conflict of interest. Obeying Allah who ordered me to obey my parents, or obeying my parents whom Allah ordered me to obey them. Then obey the Creator, obviously. لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. Does it mean that I should boycott them? Absolutely not. Does it mean that I should be upset with them? In this segment, in trying to influence you and hinder you from the path of Allah? Yes, of course, because I fear for them. They hinder people from the path of Allah, from being obedient to the Creator. But I pay them their full rights. I'm dutiful to them in everything else. What if they are so stubborn and say that if you wear hijab, you're out of my house? Do you have anywhere else to live? Yes, I do. Get out. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam had to leave Mecca, which was the dearest city to his heart. And he said to Mecca, by Allah, you're the dearest city to my heart, and if it was not for your people forcing me out, I wouldn't have left you. This is the kind of hijrah, migration. Not only moving from one country to another, from any place where you cannot practice your deen freely to where you can. Okay, there is one sister who can host me, fine. And there is a religious man, or there is a very nice person who's proposing to me, but my parents don't want him because he's religious. Then the guardianship of the father in this regard is withdrawn from him. He's not qualified. He's not to be trusted over his daughter in this case. An imam of the masjid or the mufti or the grand mufti can give you in marriage and move out. And does it mean that I will not be talking to my parents at all after that. No. وَصَاحِبْهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا. Take good care of them. Keep calling them, visiting them. They kick me out, I will continue to visit them. They have rights upon me, and those rights are maintained, except whenever they command me to do anything that contradicts Allah's commandment, then they should not be obeyed in this regard. فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا. Don't obey them in this regard. But وَصَاحِبْهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا.